Bill Dawson, horticulturist, and I am in the kitchen. You're in the kitchen with Bill. We're at the Gustav and Bertha Reiner Education Center, and I want to talk to you about kitchen gardening, and then particularly some herbs you could be growing inside right now, and then we're going to talk about planting and outdoor herb gardening containers and furthering on your kitchen garden. So right here, we've got the kitchen window, we've got some light, and these could have been growing pretty much all winter. I just have them set in pots now, but the cilantro, easy to use right in your kitchen when you're doing some cooking. Just snip some off, chop it up, and put it in your tacos, or put it, in any of your dishes. So some great choices for these indoor pots. You want to fill with a nice potting soil, and so basil, you can use basil in so much. Your flat leaf parsley, but you could also switch them out with really any of these. You might want a mojito once in a while, so there's a mojito mint. Mint you definitely want in a container because it will spread all over. We've got some oregano, and this one, I'm going to move over to this area. We've also got some more Italian basil, some thyme, rosemary. So any of those could go in here, but I'm going to take the kitchen garden outside just a little bit. So I'm going to go just outside the kitchen door, out on the stoop, and do some containers. So these containers are going to be a little bit larger, drainage holes, and do fun ones if you can. If you can find some really fun, maybe an old kitchen sink, a colander, you could fashion that into a planter. Just do something fun. These containers of different sizes are great. And then you're just going to fill with potting soil. And it doesn't have to be the best of the best of the best soil. Herbs are pretty tough. Other than the basil, which will tell you when it's dry and it'll wilt, the chives, the thyme, the oregano are all pretty tough Mediterranean herbs that are typically growing in rocky soils. But you can certainly use this great potting soil and plant it out in a container, and you can mix some of these. So if I've got chives in the center there, I could take some thyme at the edge, and that's going to run over the side. But having these right outside your kitchen door makes it so handy. We've got chives, we've got more parsley. I use parsley almost every night in some type of meal. Rosemary, this is called speedy rosemary. I have one that's called barbecue, and it grows long stems, and you can actually use that stem to skewer different things and put them right on the barbecue. It's really tasty. We're going to have to do some cooking too later on once these get a little bigger. More thyme, more basil, mint. Then I'm going to take the kitchen garden outside just a little bit further. There's so many things you're going to want to use in your kitchen, fresh and local. And when you're growing it, you know what's on it, you know what's in it, and it's so easy to go outside and pick it, and it's so rewarding to be able to do that. So I've sort of planned out my kitchen garden. I'm going out further into the garden, maybe into a little raised bed or in ground, but I'm going to plant some of my tall things in the back. So now's the time. Early spring is to plant your peas and put those up, and hopefully you've got a little trellis or something it can climb on. Then you've got kale over here. The kale will get pretty tall, and that will grow all season long, and you'll come out and pick that. I love my lettuces. Butter Crunch is absolutely one of my favorites, and it produces a lot, and it loves the cool weather. So you can get these out in early spring as well. So I did, I think 3 or 4 different varieties of lettuce, some red lettuce, some freckled lettuce here. More Butter Crunch because I love it so much. And then on the ends, I put a bronze fennel because those will get pretty tall and pretty wide. So you want to give these plants some room between each other. On the other side, some dill. Grows very much like the fennel. So it's going to get tall and bushy, and you can continue to clip off of that. Nasturtium, that's a flowering plant, but the flower itself is edible. You put that right in your salads, eat it raw. It's a very peppery, a little flower, but it's great. And this will hang over the garden bed or the container and it's just a beautiful plant as well. We've got a Napa cabbage. You can grow Napa, you can grow market cabbage, the head cabbage, but cabbages are great in the garden, in the kitchen garden. Swiss chard is another beautiful plant that just gets, this one's bright lights. It gets beautiful stems, beautiful leaves, very much like your kale. You can harvest this pretty much all summer as well. And then sage. You use sage in a lot of meat dishes, pork, and otherwise. It's a great herb to have out in the kitchen garden. So all of these, simply plant in the ground early spring, harvest them often. They like to be harvested, they like to be clipped back. You don't want them to go to seed, so if these start to go to flower, the thyme or the basil is one that's difficult, pinch those flowers off or cut it back. So if you're constantly harvesting, use them in your kitchen, cook with them, eat them fresh, put them in a salad. A kitchen garden is just great to have when you can just step outside and enjoy the fruits, the lettuce, the greens of your labor. This is Bill Dawson, and I'll see you next time.